out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the.
I just shot a whole bunch and I didn't hit record. Damn it! Oh, I missed the magazine. Shoulder. Burn. Like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch now, please use caution. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to take a look at this Taurus TX-22 Competition. Right off the bat, the one word that I think of to describe this is fun. It is just very, very, very fun gun to shoot. Before we get started, let me quickly do my disclosure. Yes, I work in the firearms industry, and yes, Taurus did send me this pistol for free just as a loaner. I do have to give it back when I'm done with the review. Neither one of those things will affect this video in any way, shape, or form because these are my opinions and my opinions only. Let me also thank my Patreon supporters because those dudes are sensational. Also, let me let you know quickly that there will be several affiliate links down in the video description if you want to pick one of these up. Hopefully I can find you a good deal, and if you choose to use those links, it really, really helps me out. Last and certainly not least, let me also quickly thank the 4 companies who support me with affiliate links. Today I want to talk a little bit about BLACKOUT Coffee. BLACKOUT Coffee is made in America, small batch roasted right down in Florida. They will have you covered for coffee, for tea, and hot chocolate. There's the website. There's the discount code. Go get you some BLACKOUT coffee. Just so you know, next week I will be doing a video comparing the TX-22 Competition to the Glock 44. And I know this is slightly apples to oranges here, but I think they're similar enough where it's worth doing a comparison video. The TX-22 comes in this very nice, lockable, hard side case. I normally don't mention the cases, but this one's pretty nice. It's worth mentioning. I'm happy that Taurus cut out a spot for the optic. This is an optic ready pistol, obviously, and they cut that slot out so you don't need to do any modifications to fit it in here. You also have all your accessories, the normal manual, lock, optic plates, which we'll go over later, speed loader, and then it comes with 3 magazines, and all non-budget guns should come with 3 magazines. So these magazines are plastic, so I don't know if there's going to be any long-term issues. The regular TX-22 takes the same mags and they don't seem to have any issues, so I'm going to say these magazines are good to go. They hold 16 rounds of 22 LR. My only complaint with them is the load assist tabs here on the side are small and not the best shape, and when it's very cold out or if you have gloves on, they're nearly impossible to pull down. In the warm, probably won't make a difference, but they're very, very difficult in the cold. Now the grip on this gun is fantastic. I love the texture, I love the shape, I love the grip angle, I love everything about it. If you have really, really small hands or really, really big hands, it may be an issue because it does not have replaceable back straps, but for me, the little cutout here, the undercut on the trigger guard, everything just absolutely feels perfect for me. The mag release on the other side is in a good spot and it's a good texture, and as you can see, it drops the magazines very freely. Being a little nitpicky, it's a little on the small side. It didn't slow me down, it never caused me any problems, and again, I'm being very nitpicky, but it is a little small compared to other competition pistols. Most competition pistols have a much bigger extended magazine release. Now the trigger on this pistol is really, really solid. It's really, really good, especially for a gun that's a sub $500 gun. There's a little bit of take up. That's probably the only knock on the trigger. There's a bit of take up. It breaks very, very light. The brake is like 3.5, 4 pounds. I tested it. I got a Lyman trigger gauge now, and I tested it with the gauge, and it was pulling between 3.5 and 4 pounds. But where this trigger really shines, besides the lightweight, is the reset. The reset is so short. It's absolutely sensational. So if you're like me and you kind of ride that trigger where you don't take your finger off the trigger, it's a great trigger for that because the reset is so short, and then you can break the next shot very, very quickly. I was shooting really, really quick with this pistol with that really, really nice trigger. Sliding up in front of the trigger, we do have a 1913 rail. I don't know why you would want to put a light laser on this, being it's a competition gun, but it is a standard 1913 rail if you want to add a light laser or a doohickey. So this gun does have a very nice ambi safety, and normally I'm not a huge fan of safeties on most of my guns, being this is a Competition 22. I don't think it's a big deal if it does or does not have it. Taurus does make the base model TX-22 with and without a safety, so hopefully they will come out with a competition model without the safety. I didn't really use the safety all that much, just once or twice just to make sure it worked correctly as it should, and then once I knew it worked correctly, I left the safety off the entire time I was shooting, and it never got in the way, it never bothered me, I never accidentally turned it on or off. It's in a great spot for my hands. I definitely didn't have any issues with it. Right in front of the safety, of course, we have the slide stop, slide release, whatever you choose to call it and whatever you want to use it for. Slide release for me is perfect. And if you've seen any of my pistol reviews, that's something that's very, very important to me, being able to use that as an actual release. And the shape is good, has a nice little ledge so you can drop the slide if you choose to, and it's very, very easy to reach even with my average size man hands. Now let's move on up to the slide. The slide is an all aluminum slide. It has a hard coat anodized finish, so it should hold up really well. I think it's a similar finish to the G3 and the G3C from Taurus, which is pretty good. And it has like a matte finish to it, so it's not overly shiny at all, which I definitely like. Now the serrations, it does have front and rear serrations, but because the slide is cut away so much here, you don't have much of the gun of the front of the slide to grab onto. I think it's pretty easy to rack from the front if you choose to do that, but there's definitely less real estate here. The back serrations are fantastic, no issues. I'm assuming Taurus cut away a lot of the slide here just to lighten up the slide so the pistol still ran reliably when you added the extra weight of an optic. And it has a very Beretta-esque look to it. Now the sights on here are a set of 3-dot white sights. The sights are plastic, unfortunately, but they are adjustable for windage and elevation, which is a good thing. Being this is a competition pistol, I would have rather seen a fiber optic pistol, fiber optic front sight, excuse me. Not the end of the world. The 3 dots were still very, very effective. I put a couple hundred rounds through this pistol with the red dot and without, just so I can kind of get used to both. And the factory sights were fine. They were very, very easy to get hits out at distance. And I think most people are going to put some sort of a red dot on here anyway. And at that point, the sights aren't really going to matter. Speaking of the optic system, I think Taurus did a great job with the optic system. What they give you is these 2 little plates, and I believe they're metal plates. Feel it, and they're reversible. It's going to fit pretty much all of the standard, most of the popular pistol red dots out there. I tried the Holosun 507K, the Loophole Delta Point Pro, and the Trijicon SRO. I just threw a couple different ones on there because I was rotating those dots on and off different guns anyway, and they all worked fine. They fit, they locked up, no problem. I shot with all 3 of them and there was no issues with it. A good thing about the optic system is the optic mounts to this plate, and then this plate mounts to the barrel. And when the slide moves, your optic does not move like a lot of the high-end 22 competition or just competition pistols in general. So tracking that dot is very, very easy. 1, there's very little recoil. 2, you have a really good trigger, and then that dot's not moving, and you really can track that dot really fast and shoot extremely quick with this optic. Now the little drawback might be that the dot sits a little bit higher than other guns because it's on that accessory plate. I can't confirm that, it's kind of just an assumption, but it seems like it sits higher. It seems like I gotta hold the gun lower than other guns that I own, but definitely don't quote me on that one. So the cool part about field stripping this pistol is you do not need to take the optic off of the plate here to field strip it, which is great because that would be a pain. You can either pull down these tabs right here and then pull the trigger, or you can pull the trigger and then pull down the tabs. It doesn't seem to matter. So we'll pull these 2 little tabs down. Obviously make sure the gun is unloaded and pointed in a safe direction. Pull the trigger. We're going to slide the slide a little bit forward and then straight up. So it goes kind of forward and up. I know it's tough to see, that's why I tried explaining it first. Your recoil spring is captured. One side of it, the bottom is flat, and that's the side that goes up against the barrel. And then again, to take the barrel out, we're going to slide it forward and then back and then out. 5-inch bull barrel. This barrel is a beast. It's heavy. It's where a lot of the weight comes from in this gun. It is a threaded barrel as well, which the Glock does not come with the threaded barrel. It's something you have to buy extra. And the threads are 1/2 by 28. So you guys who are lucky enough to own suppressors, it is a perfect suppressor host. I did see some other people videos like Plinkster22. He ran it suppressed and it was good to go, so I'm going to assume they are fine. But again, it's great that you don't have to take the optic off when you field strip it. Putting it back together is just reverse order. I put the barrel in upside down there. We'll put the barrel in first, then the recoil spring. Now with this, it's not like a Glock where you slide it on from the beginning. Again, you drop it on the slide. And this can be a little tricky. There we go. You drop it on, then you pull to the rear, and then just test it, make sure it works. Next, I want to talk to you guys about the dimensions really quick, just to give you an idea of the size of this gun. It is a good size gun. It's got a little bit of weight. It makes it a joy to shoot. I don't think that's a bad thing that it's bigger and heavier at all, but it's definitely a good size gun. And I want to compare the size of it to a Glock 44. Again, I know these are slightly apples to oranges, but the Glock 44 is the same size as the Glock 19. Most people know what size a Glock 19 is. They've seen it, they've handled it, so they have an idea. So this gun is significantly longer than the Glock 19 and significantly taller than a Glock 19 / Glock 44. So it's a big gun, but that's part of the reason that it shoots so nice. I need a water break. So let's talk about the testing that I did. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this gun is absolutely fun to shoot. It wasted a ton of my ammo and I shot it really, really quick and it was really, really fun. I shot just over 500 rounds of 22 LR. Shot a bunch of mini mag because that's what I had. I shot some CCI quiet and I did not expect it to run the slide. It shot it fine. It shouldn't run the slide, and it did not. Just what I expected. I shot a box of Aguila. I shot a box of Golden Bullet. I shot a box of Thunderbolt, half box of Thunderbolt. So I put a variety of ammo through this gun, and it ran everything super, super reliable, except for the CCI quiet. But again, it's not supposed to run the CCI quiet. I just had some and tossed it in there. I shot a bunch of competition type shooting. You know, I shot from behind barrels and I shot a ton of steel and plate racks and did some running and gunning and getting ready for the tactical games, you know. Anything that I could make it as realistic as possible. And the gun ran great. I had no problems. And again, it was extremely fun to run this gun. As far as pros, I think it is very, very reliable. The TX-22 is building a reputation for being a very, very reliable pistol. From the beginning, there was very, very few problems. The trigger is great. Taurus did a great job with the trigger. The grip feels great, looks great, the shape is great. I love the grip. And then more than anything else, the optic system on here, Taurus did a great job incorporating the optic system with all the with the 2 plates and being able to run pretty much any optic you want on there. As far as cons, I only really have one con. It's going to be the load assist tabs on the magazine. They're very, very small. And on a cold day or with gloves, it's almost impossible to load this magazine. Anytime I had to load this, I had to take my gloves off because it's been very cold here because I just couldn't get a grip on those small load assist tabs with gloves on. Then when my hands got cold, it was hard to load them because my hands were cold. That's one thing I will give the Glock. The load assist tabs on the Glock are sensational, and there's a lot less spring tension because it only holds 10 rounds, where this one holds 16 rounds. So there's definitely a lot more spring pressure, which they need to make it run reliable. If you have really big or really small hands, the size of the grip may or may not be an issue. My son couldn't really get a good hold of this. He's only 7 without having different back straps. Again, the grip's perfect for me, but I figured I would mention it one more time. As far as uses, I don't think I really need to tell you guys what this pistol is geared for and used for. It's a plinker. It's going to the range and having fun. Great to teach new shooters. Put this in their hand, especially with a dot, and let them plink and get used to manipulating a firearm. And then more than anything else, it's made for 22 competitions. Granted, it's not as nice as a $2,000 or $3,000 22 competition pistol, but For sub $500, there is a tremendous amount of value here. And I don't know if I said in the beginning of the review, but I am going to ask Taurus if there is a good guy price on this, because I love it and I actually want to keep it. I may actually sell the Glock 44 and keep this. But if you want to hear all of the specifics between the two, you'll have to tune into next week's video. Before you guys go, let me quickly thank Taurus for loaning me this pistol for the review. It is very, very nice of them to support me, especially being I am a fairly small channel here. It's very, very nice of them to support me and let me take a look at this pistol. Let me also thank you guys for watching, because it is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you are looking to support the channel, the best way to do so is on Patreon. If you're not willing and able to support me on Patreon, guys, that is no big deal. Just keep the likes and the comments coming, because they truly, truly help me out. Now, if you want to know what videos I am coming out with next, and you think I deserve it, please consider subscribing to the channel and enabling the bell notification. This way, YouTube will hopefully let you know when I come out with a new video. If you want to know what those videos I am working on right now are, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Parler, MeWe. I am on all of those platforms. Mentioned in the beginning of the video, but I have 4 awesome companies who support me with affiliate links. Prime Armor if you need body armor and plate carriers. Blackout Coffee for all of your coffee, tea, and hot chocolate needs. Dangerous But Good for your Christian and pro-gun apparel. Last but not least, USCCA for self-defense education and self-defense insurance. One more time, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Peace.